I missed you, crafty friends. I was on vacation last week and I'm back in my stamping studio today. What is today, the 28th of July? So here we are, back to crafting because it's the happiest thing to do. Do you know anybody who needs a happy hobby? Please share them. Please share this with them because maybe they're looking for something that gets them up every day, something that will spread a little sunshine to other people in their life. Maybe they just need to make something beautiful and eat chocolate. This is a great way to do it. Today we're going to talk about a technique that's an older technique called Joseph's coat. Remember Joseph in the Bible, he had a very colorful coat given to him by his father. That's where this technique gets its name from. But we're going to do a little spin on it using some pretty 3D embossing folders. Our Changing Leaves hybrid embossing folder that we used 2 weeks ago is also a 3D and embossing folder, which leaves a really deep image. So let's start by embossing and bringing you up a little closer here. We're going to do two different ones today, two different cards. This could be used for frameable art if you wanted to do something maybe for the fall. Go ahead and frame whatever you create. It can also be used for boxes or gift bags. Just have fun putting all of your art on anything you can think of. What you will need today for this project is a cardstock base, and it could be either 8.5 by 5.5, or it could be 11 by 4.25. Does not matter. I'm going to use a piece of, in fact, I'll use both today, so you'll be able to see it. Going to start with, I'm using Gorgeous Grape, and then you'll need 3 pieces of white or vanilla or some kind of light cardstock that you can use. 2 of them will be 4 inches by 5.25, and one will be 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. This smaller one is the one that we're going to put into our embossing folder. So let's start with that. You can put it wherever you want, move it around to the place that will be kind of positioned where you can see it. Now, if you did not see this bundle last time, this is called the Changing Leaves bundle. It comes, you can buy just the embossing folder that has a die that comes with it, or you can buy the bundle Changing Leaves stamp set plus the embossing folder and all of the dies that go with it. So let's do a little embossing quickly. Bringing in, you will need your large cut and emboss machine, and put your cardstock in the embossing folder, your gray panel on the top. And here we go. So have you been on vacation this summer? Where have you been? What have you been doing to enjoy, make some memories, travel a bit? Where have you been? I'd love to hear where you've been. We went to Park City with my family. So my sisters and brother and my parents, and that was really fun. So once you've embossed your beautiful panel here that we're going to use, we're going to turn it over. We're going to do not the raised side, but the debossed side right here. My colors that I'm using today are Cajun Craze, Gorgeous Grape, Old Olive, and Pretty Peacock. Kind of an unusual but fun color combination. Let's start with our Gorgeous Grape right here. You could use your Stampin' Write markers if you'd like to do this project. Those are just our regular markers. Or I'm using sponge daubers. They come 5 to a package, and you're going to dip those into your ink pad and then start coloring. Just like this. Don't worry if it goes outside the lines. You're just trying to color the inside of your leaves. You could try to do it doesn't work as well on this one in the stem. I noticed in my practice one this morning, but you're just trying to push all that color down into the well, into the debossed side. So there's purple. We'll do our oak leaf. I think this is an oak leaf in a Cajun craze. And it's okay that it has different gradients. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be gorgeous. We'll add a little bit of pretty peacock in a place or two. I think we'll do it on, I think I'm just looking at my other colors. We're going to do this one. We're going to do this one blue. The pretty peacock color. So lovely. I'm not worried about it being outside the lines. And then finally, Old Olive. Nobody has been traveling. Nobody's been at least commenting that they've traveled. Where would you like to travel if you haven't traveled anywhere this summer? Where would you like to go next summer? Or maybe you prefer to travel in the fall or off seasons, winter. I like to stay home in winter. Okay, our colors are all on there like this. Then you take a dark color of ink pad. You can do a black. I'm going to use early espresso, but this one is dark enough that it kind of gives it the look that we're looking for. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper and put it underneath me because it makes it easy to clean up, and just drag. This one I just inked up, so look how beautiful that is. Wow. I'm going to drag that right across the top of your paper. Wow, that look just turned out beautiful. Okay, see that? You might get a little bit down inside. That's okay. You can still see that red on the or that Cajun craze there. And if it's a little bit wet, you'd want to take this over to your maybe your embossing tool, your heat tool, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so take one of your other pieces of the same color paper. We're going to adhere it to it. So a little bit of adhesive on all four sides. This one just kind of gives it a little matte of the same light color, making it pop. Love that. Okay, I'm just going to press it down with my extra piece here because sometimes that does leave a little bit of residue. Okay, so we've got our panel is ready. Let's take our card base. I'm going to score this. I wanted it to kind of be a fun fold. Ooh, sorry, I bumped you. Bumped you. Hope you're not too bad. So it's a fun fold. We're going to score in half at 4 1/4 and in a quarter at 2 1/8. So that's 2 and the first little bump. You'll notice I flipped over my card. That just makes my folds go in the correct direction. So the valley is going to be on the outside of your fold. Where's my bone folder? So we'll get it nice and crisp. Ooh, got a little bit of extra. Your fingers will be inky after this technique. And then fold the other one in half so that it goes like this. Because this is a big front panel card, I wanted it to be, I have a little something here to wipe up my mess. By the way, this little, our glass mat studio that includes this and a cloth and a, one of these silicone mat, all included, is now in my store, my Stampin' Store, if you'd like to have one of these for your own crafting room. Let's adhere this to the front half of the panel. We're going to put this only on halfway, so put your adhesive only about a little less than halfway across your card. In fact, I like to wait before I put that one on. I'm going to put the inside. Here's our inside, the same size, 4 by 5 1/4, going on the inside of my card. You could stamp on this. I have not done that. You can do that. And remember to stamp on your envelope too while you're doing it. I will try to remember to do that before I put it on my website today, Creative Juice by Lonnie. Okay. So we're putting that on there like this. Now I've taken a little liberty and I'm using a different stamp set for the words. I used this saying hey, and I've stamped hey and cut it out on my vanilla. And then I'm so glad you exist. I needed some birthday cards and I thought that would be a cute saying for those birthday cards. And by the way, here's where you can find all of the supplies that you need. Okay. Well, hello, Elaine. So we've got those two we're going to use. Then I just cut out a whole bunch of leaves with these dies. And I figured I would figure out where I wanted them to go as I got them on here. So since this one kind of lost some of its Cajun craze, we're going to add a little Cajun craze, I think. And then should we do that one's too blue. We'll put that in my save for later box. Oh, that's going to be pretty, I think. All right, so we're going to just adhere to the back of our word strip. And I didn't even punch out all the pieces. If there's pieces here that are still stuck in there, just go with it. It kind of looks, natural. Do I want it to go? Thank you, Elaine. I think it's going to be a very cute card by the time we're done. I think I want it to go like this. Okay, we've got all the pieces stuck to the back. Now we can adhere some dimensionals to really hold them down and pop it off the card. I'll put a 2 on my hey. I'm going to put them up towards the top of the word so that it kind of leans over the edge. So here we go. We're almost done. It's pretty Joseph's, at least with this one. Then I'll show you one more. I'm so glad that you exist. Hey, I'm so glad that you exist. Happy birthday. It will say on the inside. So there is our beautiful card that pops open like this and actually stands up so that people could see what you said on the inside as well as what you said on the outside. Get that stuck down there a little bit. So there's our first card using this one. Now the other one I've done a lot of the work in beforehand. Let me clean up a little bit, not a lot, just so I don't put my hand in one of these things. Thank you, Sally and Elaine. I'm so glad that you like the Joseph's coat technique. So this one I'm using for the next one. Let me see. What did I do with it? When I picked that up, I might have lost my... Well, that's weird. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, here's another version of this card. Hey, I'm so glad that you exist. This one's on Cajun Craze, and this one's on Gorgeous Grapes. So pretty. How come this one doesn't want to stick down today? Did I forget to take off my... There we go. Just got to push it a little harder, apparently. The second one, we are using this embossing folder. It's called Layered Florals. It's been around for a couple months, but maybe you haven't really taken a good look at it. So I wanted you to see. I've already started coloring it. So I embossed it. Here's the raised side. And I used my sponge daubers to color inside the lilies here. But you could also use, as I mentioned, your Stampin' Write markers. So just go like this. Oh, wow, that's going to be really dark. We can just go like this. Add some darker pieces if we need to, so that there's not just one dark color. One dark. There we go. We'll just bring in some of that darker color to give some details on the leaves. And then if there's some pieces that you've missed, I've used, what is this called? Petunia Pop. And then this is fresh freesia for some of these smaller flowers with a little bit of, with a pop of petunia pop in the center right there. But I just wanted you to see that you could do it either way. This one really covers, this cut when you use your markers, it really covers all of the inside. I think I've got all of them except for that little leaf right there. Let's color them in. And remember, it doesn't even have to, it's a very messy technique, so don't feel bad about it. This time I'm going to use Night of Navy as my dark color. I apparently did not get everything closed. So here's my dark Night of Navy. Let's just pull that across our card. Are you ready for the magic? This one I should have re-inked a little bit. That's okay, because we can always just do it again. Pull it across your card until it's all. Don't want to push it too hard because it does get down into the grooves and you want it to have that pretty pop of color. Okay. Just making sure it's all pretty much covered. Doing a little pushing, not too hard. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, we've got it covered in Night of Navy. Black would also work if you've got a black ink pad. So hopefully it'll all be beautiful. Okay, same thing. For this one, I am going to use an 11 by 4¼ piece of cardstock for my cardstock base. I've already scored it at 5½ and 2 3/4. So it just folds back like a Z fold card. I'm gonna wipe off my fingers, they're a little blue. There we go. So this will be a landscape version of our Joseph's coat technique. And again, use your 2 white pieces. A little blue here, wipe it up. Ooh, dry it out. Again, as I said, just asking you where you have vacationed this summer. If you are tuned in late and didn't hear, I would love to hear where you vacationed or where you'd like to vacation. Do you vacation in the summertime? Do you vacation in the wintertime? What's your favorite? So we've got the inside. Let's do our layer right here. Thank you, Elaine. I'm glad that you're having fun learning a new technique here. A new old technique, or maybe you've already learned it and you just are saying, oh, I didn't know I could do it with this. You can see, well, you may want to take it to your heat tool and get it all dried. I'll put it on top of our paper here. Okay, this time I'm only going to do this half of the card, adhere it to the front. This half of the front panel, I should say, and I'm going to do it 3 times here so that it really is nice and adhered. And I can kind of line it up with what's behind it. There we go. So pretty. Now I've finished this one off already so you can see it done. This time I added a little bit of ribbon before I should have done that before I put this on here. A little bit of the petunia pop ribbon and then just tie a little simple bow with some white baker's twine. This is very mailable, so you can mail it without having a lot of bulk. And then this time I did use this sentiment, this one right here, a little note to brighten your day from the Changing Leaves bundle. And the dies are all from the Changing Leaves bundle as well. So feel free to kind of mix and match where you have, whatever you needed to say. You've got lots of opportunity to do that with those beautiful Joseph's coat techniques. Isn't that just fun? Just such a fun pop of color. And then you've got a gorgeous background. I'm so glad that you like it. Thanks, Elaine, and thanks, Sally, for joining me today, uh, right here live, back in the studio. Um, I just did not want you to miss how awesome these were, because what a great technique. What a beautiful technique. All right, so thank you for sharing this with your friends who need a happy hobby. And hopefully you'll get a chance to try this yourself. Maybe you'll find a different color combination, maybe a different 3D embossing folder to try in your collection. But this is a real beautiful opportunity to get your stamps out and have a little vacation in your craft room. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back next Monday. See you then.